Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Indaya Tosi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Padidevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Indaya Tosi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Padidevi
श्रीमती तुलसी देवी महारानी की जय।
The Ocean Voyage. On September 13th, Prabhupada noted in his diary, quote, 32nd day of journey, cooked bhatti khichdi. It appeared to be delicious, so I was able to take some food. Today I have disclosed my mind to my companion, Lord Sri Krishna. There is a Bengali poem made by me in this connection. This poem was a prayer to Lord Krishna, and it is filled with Prabhupada's devotional confidence in the mission that he had undertaken on behalf of his spiritual master. An English translation of the opening stanzas follows. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya, the son of Mother Shachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams. Everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. The poem ends. Today, that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I called to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no means of success. In the same straightforward, factual manner in which he had noted the date, weather, and the state of his health, he now described his helpless dependence on, quote, his, quote, companion, Lord Krishna, and his absorption in the ecstasy of separation from Krishna. He described the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple, and he praised his own spiritual master, Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, quote, by whose strong desire the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. He plainly stated that his spiritual master had ordered him to accomplish this mission of worldwide Krishna consciousness, and feeling unworthy, he prayed to Lord Krishna for strength. The last verses give an unexpected confidential glimpse into Srila Prabhupada's direct relationship with Lord Krishna. Prabhupada called on Krishna as his, quote, dear friend, and longed for the joy of again wandering the fields of Vraj. This memory of Krishna, he wrote, came because of a great desire to serve the Lord. Externally, Srila Prabhupada was experiencing great inconvenience. He had been aboard ship for a month and had suffered heart attacks and repeated seasickness. Moreover, even if he were to recover from these difficulties, his arrival in America would undoubtedly bring many more difficulties. But remembering the desire of his spiritual master, taking strength from his reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita and revealing his mind in prayer to Lord Krishna, Prabhupada remained confident. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let us welcome back Bhaktamurti. Hare Bol. And now joining us, Joseph. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for being here, gentlemen. So there'll be the shloka class at 6:15, and then we'll be doing the greeting the deities at 7:15, and we'll be chanting japa in between. So thank you very much. Today is also the Sunday festival, so thank you all for your hard work to prepare. It'll be a nice event. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees. They can fulfill the desires of everyone and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam bhavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram. Sit properly. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Sit properly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram. Krishna Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Om Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Sit properly. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Ram, Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Sit properly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Ram. Sit properly. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Oh Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram. Sit properly. Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram.
Shri Shri Gaurita Ki Jai. Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my dark eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic praying emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing this character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
You seen Maharaj's speaker?
Yeah, it's on the tape.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtatara Shata Shri Srimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtatara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya This sign is really nice, but we keep it behind the books from where the speaker's sitting, so you can't see it. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 33. Etat rupam stulam te vyahritam maya mahi adibihi cha avaranaihi ashtabihi bihi avritam etad bhagavato rupam stulam te vyahritam maya dibish chavaraner ashtabir bahir avritam etad bhagavato rupam stulam te vyahritam
Devyahutamaya.
maya dibish chavaraner. Okay. Ataparam sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadi madhya nidanam nityam van manasaparam ataparam sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadi madhya nidanam nityam van manasaparam ataparam sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadi madhya nidanam nityam van manasaparam ataparam sukshmatamam
Avyaktam nirvisheshanam
avyaktam nirvisheshanam
anadi madhya nidanam
nityam van manasaparam
Ataparang sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadi madhya nidanam nityam van manasaparam
Ataparam sukshmatam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadi madhya nidhanam nityam van manasaparam
Ataparam sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam nadi madhya nidhanam nityam van manasapara.
Ataparam sukshmataman avyaktam nivisheshanam
avyaktam nirvisheshanam
anadi madha nidhanam
anadi madhya nidanam
nityam van manasaparam
nityam van manasaparam
Ataparam Sukshmatamam
Ataparam Sukshmatamam
Avyaktam Nirvisheshanam
Avyaktam Nirvisheshanam
Nadi Madhya Nidhanam
Anadi Madhya Nidhanam
Nityam Vam Manasaparam
Nityam Van Manasaparam
Ataparam Sukshmatamam
Ataparam Sukshmatamam
Avyaktam Nirvisheshanam
Avyaktam Nirvisheshanam
Anadi Madhya Nidhanam
Anadi Madhya Nidhanam
Nityam Van Manasaparam
Nityam Van Manasaparam Ataha, therefore, Param, transcendental, Sukshmatamam, finer than the finest, Avyaktam, unmanifested, Nirvisheshanam, without material features, Anadi, without beginning, Madhya, without an intermediate stage, Nidhanam, without end, Nityam, eternal, Vak, words, Manasaha, of the mind, Param, transcendental. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, beyond this gross manifestation is a transcendental manifestation finer than the finest form. It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation, and it is distinct from the material conception. Purport: the gross external body of the Supreme is manifested at certain intervals, and thus the external feature or form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not the eternal form of the Lord, which has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Anything which has a beginning, interim, and end is called material. The material world is begun from the Lord, and thus the form of the Lord, before the beginning of the material world, is certainly transcendental. I'm going to read that one. The material world is begun from the Lord, and thus the form of the Lord, before the beginning of the material world, is certainly transcendental to the finest or the finer material conception. The ether in the material world is considered to be the finest. Finer than the ether is mind, intelligence, and false ego. But all 8 of the outward coverings are explained as outer coverings of the Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is therefore beyond the expression and mental speculation of the material conception. He is certainly transcendental to all material conceptions. This is called Nirvisheshanam. One should not, however, misunderstand Nirvisheshanam as being without transcendental qualifications. Visheshanam means qualities. Therefore, Nir added to it means that he has no material qualities or variegatedness. This nullifying expression is described in 4 transcendental qualifications, namely unmanifested, transcendental, eternal, and beyond the conception of mind or word. Beyond the limits of words means negation of the material conception. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to know the transcendental form of the Lord. Arish? Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishnam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim sadkripa tadaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Therefore, beyond this gross manifestation is a transcendental manifestation finer than the finest form. It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation, and is distinct from the material conception. So this is explained throughout the Vedas, is that one can't actually understand something transcendental or beyond the material sphere with their material senses, such as our mind or our eyes or any of our material senses. We can't actually use them to see beyond something in this material world, right? It makes sense. But the way that knowledge is being received and propagated today is only based on what you can perceive with your senses, and that's the basis of all of our education. They say, well, can you see? Can it be seen with your? Can it be experienced with your senses? And if not, then it's not known as knowledge. But there's many things that can't be actually seen and experienced with our senses. For instance, okay, right now, if I want to know what is in another country, just based on my own mind and my own senses, I can't tell you what's happening in like Paris, France. But if I hear from someone that is living in Paris, France, or has been there, then they can tell me everything about it. So similarly, to understand something beyond the limits of the facilities I have now, I need to hear someone who is actually qualified to speak on that thing. So the Vedas were actually they were compiled by Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of the Lord. He's a jiva, a spirit soul, who's specifically empowered. It's called a Shaktivesh avatar. He's a spirit soul who's specifically empowered by the Shakti, or the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to do a specific task. So he's beyond all material defects. He's a spirit soul coming from the spiritual world to this material world. So he's beyond all the conditions of a normal conditioned soul. Just like, for instance, he comes to the material world, and what does he do? He compiles the Vedas. He puts them in a systematic way so that people can learn knowledge beyond what they can usually experience. But in this material world, the living entities here are known as conditioned souls. So we have the tendency to make mistakes, the tendency to be illusioned, the imperfect senses, and the cheating propensity. So the cheating propensity means I don't have full knowledge of something, but then I present it as if I'm knowing this thing. That's called a cheating propensity. So these four things cover all the conditioned souls. The other one is we have imperfect senses. So our senses are completely dependent. They're completely conditioned. As long as the sun is out, I can see and describe what is happening. Or as long as there's a light that's on, that's bright enough, I can see and describe what's around me. But as soon as that light's gone, I can't describe something 2 feet away from me. As soon as the sun is down, I can't describe very much about what's around. So the eyes are conditioned in so many ways. I remember this from my science classes, they'd have a spectrum of how much light there is in the world based on different wavelengths or something. And there was only, out of the spectrum about this big, there's only about this much that our eyes could actually see. So our senses are conditioned, they're dependent, they're imperfect. And then the other one is the tendency to be an illusion. So the most prominent way that we can see that is that everyone is in illusion thinking, I am this body. But the soul has nothing to do with this body. As soon as it's time to give up the body, the soul, the person, he has nothing to do with it anymore. Everything that was built around the body, the home, the family, the friends, the name, the fame, the aspirations, the plans, the college degree, the job, every single thing to do with the nationality, the relationships, everything to do with the body now is meaningless to that soul or that person, because they're just going now from that body and wherever material nature is placing them based on their karma, their actions, and their desires, now they're there. They have absolutely nothing to do with it anymore. Like Srila Prabhupada gives that example. One person was really attached to his family, and he worked so hard to make a nice estate for his sons, and then once it was time for him to leave his body, when he died, because he was so attached, he was born again in that same like village area, but now he's a cobbler, someone who like polishes shoes, which isn't a very high position at that place. So he went again to this nice estate of his sons, now in the body of the cobbler, and they chased him away, hitting him, like, you're trespassing, like, get out of here, you low-class person. So we can see that that's a big illusion, to identify with the body, because as soon as we leave it, we have no connection to anything to do with it anymore. But we still have our karma and our desires. So, based on these four conditions of the conditioned living entities in the material world, or these four, I guess you could say, imperfections, you can't get perfect knowledge with them. So that first one, the cheating propensity, we see that's there in all fields of knowledge now. Is there? You can see this cheating propensity very obviously. So what's the topmost field of knowledge? In Vedic society, people would look to the Brahmanas for education. Brahmana means one who knows Brahman. They know what's God, what's the source of everything. What is the difference? What is spirit? That's Brahman. They know what's the difference between spirit and matter, and they can actually guide people. But if we see, okay, who's at the top today for knowledge? There's the, you could say all the different fields of sciences. So, you've got some scientist who's he's got a doctorate in some kind of health thing. Another one is a doctorate in like astronomy. Another scientist who has awards and PhDs in physics. So these people, whatever they say, that goes. If you look at any article, it says, new virus is attacking the world, everyone's disturbed, and then a few paragraphs down the article it says, the scientists have just explained that the virus is like this, and the way that we'll combat it is like that, and then okay, that's the truth, based on where they say the scientists say this. So that's like our brahmanas of today, or our leaders. But we can see this isn't exactly we can just look at it. So the first problem there is that cheating propensity. So if we hear from our top sources of knowledge today, for example, like in astronomy, I was speaking to one doctor of physics and astronomy here in Kansas City, who's very well esteemed, award-winning, and he's very smart. But he was telling me that the entire universe is filled with dark matter. 90% of the universe is dark matter. And what does dark matter mean? We don't know. So this is that cheating propensity. Why? Because you're saying, I know 100% of the situation. I know 100% of the situation so well to tell you that we can't understand 90% of it. If you can't understand 90% of it, how can you be so sure that you know what is 100% of it? So like this, it's cheating. It doesn't make any sense if you actually just think about it and listen to it. I know that 90% of the universe is made of dark matter. What is dark matter? I don't know. That means you don't know really anything about the universe. It's totally crazy. But these are these are literally the top theories and top explanations that are given right now for the truth or the reality. So that's the cheating propensity. One more with that. Okay, how was the universe created? Because science means to find the cause of things. So now, the top theory, and honestly it sounds funny right from the get-go, but unfortunately this is the top theory that's taught. So the entire universe, everything that exists, life itself, everything came from the void. And you can go to the IMAX, like 4D movie theaters that are in all these different planetariums, and they'll show you this really nicely. They'll show like a bunch of clips, of like, life. There's like somebody's eye, and you see those little hair things and the pupil, and then it shows like some animal doing something cool, like flying, and then water, the ocean. It's life. In the beginning, it all came from and then it'll show some like flashes and everything like winds up and the void. And it's just like this black screen. And then it'll say, and it's kind of, it's like, if you're looking at the video, you can get into it and go like, yeah, like I'm down with this, it's cool. And then the void exploded. And it's just like an explosion, and there's colors, and the gases begin to mix, and then we had the first amino acid, and that made the first single cell living entity that eventually turned into a fish, and now you have the man, and it's like, and he's blasting a rocket into the space. And it looks nice from the video, but if we think about it, everything came from the void. That means at first there was nothing. Something happened to nothing, and from nothing, everything came into existence. So just grammatically or just speaking, it doesn't make sense from the beginning. Everything came from nothing. Well, how does that happen? How does nothing turn into something? There has to be something there, and something has to happen to that for it to turn into more thing. How does nothing... And also, where do we see an example of nothing anywhere in the world? Is there any example? Even if I have I might have a cup that's full of water, and then I could say, well, there's nothing in the other cup. But there's air in there, there's oxygen, and you could say, okay, well, no, bring it into space where there's no air. Okay, now we have the empty cup there. But even in there's space. That's what we just read about, ether. It's the finest, or one of the finest of the material elements, and then beyond that, there's mind, intelligence, and false ego, even finer. So there's no example of nothing anywhere in the whole universe, but that's what they say. There was nothing, and then nothing exploded, and everything came into being. So again, we can see this goes along with that cheating propensity. I don't actually know how everything started. So what do I tell people? It all came from the void. It's cheating. It's a bluffing, like you're playing a game of cards, and you bluff everybody. Say, oh, I've got 3 aces. Where did they come from? Nothing. It's bluffing. So they're saying everything came from nothing. That means I don't know where everything came from. And if that wasn't convincing enough that theory is just cheating, we can look at it just a little bit more. It's everything in this universe is orderly. Everyone's got a body that it can walk. There's like defects and stuff sometimes, but for the most part, everyone has a body. It's got 2 legs, feet, hands, walks, eats. All living entities have different kinds of bodies. They're all working. They can reproduce with another one of that species and making another one. The sun's coming up exactly the right distance. If it was like a little bit away, everything would freeze. A little bit too close, everything would burn. So everything's happening in an extremely orderly way. The seasons are coming on time, like a big machine, like a big clock, perfectly orderly. But they say that this precise order came from, disorder, something crazy, something chaotic. They say it came from an explosion. So that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's that example. If you had all the pieces of a Rolex watch, so you got some copper, some aluminum, some gold, some glass, and you put all these different things in a metal box, how many times would you have to set off an explosion in that box to make it turn into a Rolex watch? It wouldn't happen. But they say that's how everything happens. Everything's in a perfect working order due to random chance. And you can also hear people who are really scholarly in this field explain also how that's not possible. And they show you through statistics and actually also knowing biology, like how different amino acids are structured and how those create cells and different types of bodies. They show you how it's not possible actually for random chance to make precisely ordered bodies and structures in the material world. Okay, so that's the cheating propensity. And then the one was imperfect senses. So like I was saying with the eyes, whole spectrum of light, only see this much of it. So with our senses, we can't get perfect knowledge. And so then we can say, well, we'll use some higher machine then to enhance our senses so we can see more light, we can get more knowledge. But what was that machine made with? It was made with our imperfect senses. And how is the information received from it? Through our imperfect senses. So again, no perfect knowledge. That's the imperfect senses. And then the tendency to make mistakes, we see that's there. That's obvious. And then the tendency to be an illusion. So from the very beginning, if someone's system of knowledge is based on that I am this body and other illusions that stem from that, then there's no chance of having perfect knowledge. It's like if the beginning of an equation is wrong, then the whole rest of the thing is going to be wrong. So for perfect knowledge, we actually have to hear it from a perfect source. So this human form of life is the chance to actually do that. We can discuss about the scriptures, and we can hear from Krishna, the perfect person. So he made everything. So if we hear from him about how everything is created, then we have the perfect understanding of how it's created. If we hear from him how living entities fall into illusion, then we know how we're in illusion and how to get out of it. If we hear from him who we are, then we know who we are. So like this, we're taking perfect knowledge from the perfect person, Krishna, and it's passed down into cyclic succession, which is a very scientific system that keeps the knowledge intact. And I won't get into all the details of it, but it is, if you want to take the time to look into it, it's not just that, oh, someone said something to somebody else, and therefore it's stuck. But it's actually a very advanced, detailed system that makes it so it's not possible to change the knowledge. It's called parampara. So Krishna spoke to Brahma, to Narada, to Vyasadeva, to Madhvacharya, and so on. Lord Chaitanya, the Goswamis, and so on, Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada's disciples. And now we're hearing it. So we can get perfect knowledge in this way when we get it from the perfect person. So that's what this human form of life is for. The animals, they're not assembling here to hear about what is the soul, what is matter, what is knowledge. But in this human form of life, we have the facility to hear properly. So we can use that, not for hearing all these nonsense things like some music that we like to listen to or some TV show or something, but we can hear how we can solve all of the problems of our life, which means understanding what is spirit, what is matter, and who's the controller of both. We get the facility to do that in this human form of life. So we shouldn't waste it. There's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusam bhavante manushamarta damanityamapi hadiraha tornam yatetana patetana mritu yavan nishreya shaya visaya kalu sarvatasyat labdva. So after many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life. It's very rare, this human form of life. There's 8,400,000 species described in the Vedas. And so in this material world, we're just going up and down like a Ferris wheel through these different kinds of species, sometimes doing pious activities, going upward, demigod body, sometimes impious activities going down hellish planets or animal bodies. So and then out of that 8,400,000, only 400,000 of those are human species. And out of those, only a very small amount are actually like civilized and intelligent human species. And out of those, it's extremely rare to find one person who actually inquires into what is the nature of the self, what's perfection, what's the goal of life. And out of all of those, it's very rare to find one who actually knows Krishna. So we've been given we've gotten an extremely valuable opportunity by somehow or other becoming fortunate and getting the association of devotees. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection. That means quickly. That means as soon as possible, right when we hear about it. Someone tells you, hey, you're not the body, you're in illusion, you're going to die soon. Use this human form of life to get out of the material world, solve all your problems, serve Krishna, know who is Krishna. That means right when we hear that, okay, how do I do it? Let me just finish it up. I got a couple years left to live, or a couple minutes. Let me take to it right now in full. So a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. So none of us in here have fallen down and died yet. So that means we should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection. Has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. So where did that part come up? Why did that come up in the end, the sense grab? Because that's the only other thing that people are going for. It's, okay, I can use this human form of life to perform divine austerities, to know who am I, who's God, what's my relationship with him, and how to get back to him. Or I can be lazy. So lazy means that I have no time. Like we meet a lot of people when we're distributing books. Say, hey, please read these books, you seem really smart. And they say, I have no time. So this is laziness. People are very lazy in this Kali Yuga about spiritual life, about attaining the goal of life. Even if they know they're miserable, they know, okay, the food I'm getting in Kali Yuga, it's all poisoned. The relationships I'm having are all full of arguments and quarrel. The people controlling the land that I'm living in are evil. Everything, it's all bad. And you tell them, well, what are you going to do about it? And they just, I'll just enjoy what I can. So this is called laziness. People are lazy about the goal of life. But we shouldn't be, because why? We saw here, the sense gratification, which that's the only other option. If we want to be lazy about spiritual life, then the only thing is, I'll try to get some enjoyment out of this body. The senses, they're like a water-laden sponge. So when we're very young, you just tap the sponge, and a lot of water comes out. It seems like they can give you some satisfaction. But as the body and the senses grow old and deteriorate, it's like the sponge, it just dries up. So you can't even eat very much nicely. The eyes begin to become blurred. The senses they become dulled. So this sense gratification, it's available even in the most abominable species of life. The pig has its pig girlfriend. The pigeon, if people think sex life is like, this is the best, this is the goal, I'll just max that out and I'll be happy. Well, then we could just take the body of a pigeon, because the pigeon engages in sex life more than, I think, 12 times in a day. So that would mean the pigeon is more advanced than us if this is our goal of life. Or if we want to just eat as much as possible and then I'll be satisfied, the pig can eat anything and everything. So these abominable species of life, they're able to get sense gratification. We've had it in those species of life. But in this human form of life, that's the only one where Krishna consciousness is possible. So that's why one shouldn't be lazy in spiritual life, because we don't have a big window to actually do it. We've got this lifetime as a human being, and who knows what kind of body we'll get in a few minutes or a few hours or a few years. Even if it's a better one, which most likely is not going to happen in Kali Yuga, because the whole atmosphere is just permeated with sinful activities. Like how many people died just so I could wear this, like just so I could have this jacket. So, or for the food that people eat. So sinful reactions means lower type of body. So then we miss the whole opportunity. So what do we do? Well, here this verse kind of explains it next. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 29. Unless one is associated with devotees, he cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. Yeah, okay, I can read the whole thing. It'll be helpful. But that's what we do. We associate with devotees because if we're around, we might think, okay, I can do it on my own. Now I heard that, okay, you chant Hare Krishna, follow the 4 regulative principles, and go back to Godhead. I can do that on my own. But we see it doesn't happen. This is the idea that a lot of us get early on, but we see what happens. As soon as we're outside the association of devotees, what do we hear? Just all nonsense. What are we speaking? It's something about our body. What are we doing? Waking up late. So it doesn't work. Because when we're associating with devotees, they're focused on serving Krishna, and then they can help us serve Krishna. So unless one is associated with devotees, he cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. Nirjana bhajana, cultivating Krishna consciousness in a solitary place, is not possible for the neophyte, for he will be disturbed by the bodily necessities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Being so disturbed, one cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. We therefore see that devotees known as Sahajya, who make everything very easy, do not associate with advanced devotees. Such persons, in the name of devotional activities, are addicted to all kinds of sinful acts, illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Okay, now I'm kind of getting off the topic of what we were on, but that's what happens. If one thinks, okay, I can do all of this on my own, it doesn't work because the whole atmosphere in Kali Yuga is just permeated with, it's polluted. So we just end up doing polluted activities more or less. But if we find a pure environment, somewhere where people are actually focusing on who is Krishna, how can I serve him, how can I know him, then there's all opportunity to attain the goal of life. It's like a stock exchange. So if we want to make a lot of money, there's the stock exchange and we stay there and it's easy. When you want to buy a stock, you can quickly buy one. When you want to sell one, someone's right there who wants to buy it. So similarly, once we learn that devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the goal of life, if we stay in the society of devotees, then as soon as we need to buy some service, someone's right there ready to give some devotional service. And as soon as we need to give some devotional service, someone's right there ready to buy it. So it's the perfect opportunity, like the spiritual stock exchange. And in this way, we can actually transfer ourselves from this material position that we're in, which is temporary, and get back to the eternal position, the spiritual world, which is was spoken on a little bit in this verse, how in that place everything is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, whereas in this material world it's the exact opposite, temporary, full of misery and ignorance. So by cultivating Krishna consciousness with devotees, then we can go back to our natural blissful position. Is there maybe one question or comment? Yes, Krishna Shravana Prabhu.
Rishi Kumar Prabhu, thank you for your great Srimad Bhagavatam class. I have one comment and one question. Recently, some scientists stated that we believe that the origin of consciousness is from chemicals, but we cannot prove it. But the absolutists can prove it. So the absolutists take knowledge from the Shastras. So like Bhagavad Gita says, Natvaiva hum natu nasam natvam neme janadipat natachaiva nabhishyama sarvayamatapadam. Krishna says, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. And the question is, you're speaking transcendental messages, but my ears are material. So how can I get transcendental knowledge from my material senses like ears?
Well, one thing is that we originally have spiritual senses because we're the soul. Just like this, I'm wearing the jacket, and so because I'm wearing the jacket, it takes on this form. You know, it's got two arms because I have two arms. So similarly, we're wearing this body, and it takes on form because, like we were hearing in the verse, all of these things are there in the spiritual world. It's not just light or oneness, but there's form there. There's variety. There's variegatedness. So the soul has a form, and the soul has senses, but not these temporary material senses, but spiritual senses. So that's Krishna consciousness, is when we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, they become purified, like our normal spiritual senses. And then we're actually able to perceive spiritual things, spiritual form, spiritual sound, the spiritual body of the Lord. So by engaging our covered senses in the service of the Lord, they become uncovered or purified, so we can actually perceive spiritual things. But yeah, at the moment we do have just, it's an ear, it's made of matter. So how can I get transcendental knowledge? It's because the knowledge is coming from the transcendental platform. So we're hearing what was spoken by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and then we're hearing what was spoken about Krishna in the Bhagavatam. And now we'll hear from Maharaj through the speakers.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me now? As you said, it's like the answer is when you get into a certain frequency, listening to a radio, you need to tune into that frequency. Once you tune into that frequency, you can get all the information, everything coming through there. Similarly, once you tune into the spiritual frequency, and you can perceive the spiritual world. Thank you.
Just like with a frequency, when you tune into the right frequency, then you can hear from there, like with the radio. So when we tune into the frequency from the spiritual world, then we can perceive everything. Okay, thank you, Maharaj. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bunch of